that thing back with pick six.
Well, you know what? I did pick out Ryan Fitzmagic. So how you feel about it?
Hey,
Hey, he around
I'm
18
not
years.
surprised how long you've been in the league and so many teams. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I picked him off, but I picked off a younger version of Ryan. This older version of Ryan actually is pretty damn good, and he can flat out play. Don't forget the guy got benched in Miami for winning too much. So that tells you a lot about him and where he's at. And he's in the top, hey, believe this or not, he's in the top 5, top 6 in QBR and completions in the last 3 years of his career. He's got better. It's like wine. He's getting better. But I got something that I feel, as much as I know Ryan is going to help us win and he's going to be that guy, you know, sometimes in football, it's all about the story. I feel a Kurt Warner type story happening with Tyler Heineke. I just feel if Ryan Fitzmagic missed just 1 or 2 games, he'll never get his job back again. I feel that Tyler Heineke would get in there and really become Kurt Warner of the Washington football team. Yes, the guy that comes out of nowhere that was bagging groceries that turns into a Hall of Famer. I gotta feel it.
How does that OG title make you feel to know that you had made an imprint into this fan base and things like that?
Oh, that's what it make you feel. Oh, you used to look at the guys like B. Mitch and Doc Walker, you Sonny Jurgensen's, and you like, man, they played and they was a part of historic teams, and all of a sudden, we didn't have any history. I think we brought a different energy to the city, and just having the luxury of playing with Sean T and playing with Santana, myself, Marcus, Chris Samuel. I think the guys, Smoke, those guys that was in that community meant so much. Even the unsung heroes, the Mike Sellers, the Rock Cartwrights, the Kerry Campbells, the list goes on.
Yes, sir.
Just embedded in the community.
Yes.
And, that meant well,
sir.
Well. And then you have those guys.
Shout out to the man, CP. Hey, it's always, we can turn that thing down a little bit. Pause. Get my boy AJ in this thing right quick. Boom. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Trap or Die podcast, provided to you by 214 Media. I'm your host, Marley Maul, Henny Maul, Hen Dog Maul, all that good stuff, man. I'm here with AJ right now. I think Dre is on the way. I would assume Dre is on the way, but AJ, how you feeling? Everything good with you?
Yeah, man, everything's good. How you feeling today?
Look, man, I'm all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a little high on the little workout that I just got done with. So I'm in good spirits right now. So I'm going to use this energy to discuss this quarterback conversation that we got coming up between us and everybody else who plans to check in with the Trap or Die tonight, man. For everybody that's listening live, as always, like I said, if you all want to call in, matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the links in the chat. Put the link in the stream, in the Twitch on, boom. And then where is the YouTube one? How do I get? There we go. Put it in the YouTube, John. When you there, I ain't trying to hear myself. All right, boom. I'm going to keep doing that throughout the night. All right, boom. There we go. All right, so we got the links in the chat for everybody that want to call in that's listening. Look, we're talking quarterbacks tonight. Your theories, your predictions, everything, your concerns, what you don't want to see, what you want to see, what you think is going to happen, everything in between, all that good stuff, man. So, AJ, we're going to take the calls probably about like 5-10 minutes for everybody that's listening. But AJ, I want to get your opinion right quick because I know your boy Mitch Trubisky has had some noise out here. Mitch Trubisky, everybody talking about this guy, Mitch, man, today. And I hand it to you, but I don't know where it came from, like how it got so loud all of a sudden, but it got loud. And I mean, here we are. Like today has been all things Mitchell Trubisky. I know that's not where you want to go. I know that's not the future of the team, but let's start there, man. Let's start with the bridge option and what that means, and if the team is actually looking at that correctly. Because I don't think if you go for Mitch Trubisky, I don't think that's going to be what we consider a true bridge option.
Yeah, I mean, I think for whatever reason, his name has picked up some traction online, especially from what I can see within the Washington fan base community, and I think it's just people just think that this guy has got better because he was Josh Allen's backup. And I think it's insane. It's like he is who he is. When he was at North Carolina coming out, he had inaccuracy problems. Wasn't really good accurate. He wasn't really accurate beyond 10 yards. Honestly, I feel like he doesn't even use his athleticism as much as he could. Now all of a sudden, people are thinking he could be the starter for another NFL team, and especially being here, it's like, do you even really understand what you want from a quarterback? Because I feel like if that's the guy that you want, you essentially already have that in Taylor Heineke in some regard. Um, Inaccurate. Um, Mitch has a stronger arm, but what good is that if you're inaccurate? I just feel like the focus on him is kind of weird. And on top of that, if you even haven't discussed Mitchell Trubisky, your season's already done. Like in my opinion, you got to come a little bit stronger than that. Um, I really don't know. I mean, I feel like Ron Rivera has publicly put out there that they're going to be aggressive for a quarterback, which is a dangerous spot to be in, especially if you're trying to trade for an elite one, because you're probably going to get hosed. Like, they're going to treat you like a hoe, like, because at the end of the day, you're now coming off so desperate for one, because this quarterback is not only for you to win games, but it's to provide some type of stability within that organization as a face of a franchise if you are going to go an elite level. And on top of that, it's to save you and everybody else that you've hired on your coaching staff's jobs. Because there's no way in hell, if they bring in a Mitchell Trubisky or Marcus Mariota, that they're going to bring Ron Rivera back next year. And there's no way that you also can sign who you assume to be a bridge quarterback and go draft a quarterback as well. And you still have Taylor Heineke on the roster. None of it makes sense, but I mean, I said something to you guys privately, and I've just been thinking about it, especially with Mr. Trubisky's name being mentioned so much. If you are going to go the route of signing like a lower tier free agent quarterback and you plan on drafting Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, right? I think the best option for you is Tyrod Taylor. He's been in that position before, unfortunately, in his career of being the bridge quarterback. He's made a Pro Bowl as a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He helped them maintain a solid offense with the fact that they also had a good defense to pair with him. He's a guy who's athletic, is not afraid to use his athleticism. And even, within the offense that Scott Turner has developed, those are passes that Tyrod can easily make, and he's pretty accurate in that regard. So it's kind of weird that Mr. Trubisky's name is like really like gaining so much traction within the Washington community. I know his agent is at home like happy as shit. He's not really having
Right.
to do
He
much
ain't got to do
work.
too much.
Yeah, because I mean, there's nothing that changed from his time within Chicago as he was like the number 3 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Like
Top five, whatever it is. Top
there's
five.
nothing that's changed since that time. All he did was back up Josh Allen. Now people are acting like it's a brand new man. Like,
Here's the danger behind this, and because I agree, but I think the dangerous part. Now I can't. I'm just being honest with y'all. I can't necessarily say that I can't like distinguish the truth from the lie. I'll be honest with y'all up front. But what's happening is the fact that the story is coming out about how, and I looked it up. I did my research. This has been existent when he was in Chicago, but there's a lot to do now with him, with people saying it was a lot on Matt Nagy and his disdain for Mitchell Trubisky and how short of a leash he was on. Trubisky was his final season in Chicago and how things played out like that. Now, I do agree. Like, if you saw how they treated Trubisky in his final season before he ended up going to Buffalo, clearly Nagy didn't have any confidence in him. He didn't like him. It's a reason why he brought in Nick Foles. Like, you get that part. But when you ask the questions like, what's the truth in terms of to what degree did he not like Trubisky versus to what degree did he think that his offense could have operated better with a certain type of quarterback, then you have to find the middle ground and figure out how do you weigh it in that type of situation. And for me, I think Trubisky probably didn't have a fair shake when he found out or when he had to deal with the coaches not liking him either. But does that mean that he's going to be better when he moves forward in his career? I don't know. And I don't really know that you can say for certain just because he played a year behind Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills system that he's going to all of a sudden flourish.
I mean, I think you just have to pay attention to the attributes. Like a lot of guys don't end up being inaccurate and then all of a sudden gain accuracy later on in their career. If you go back to his tape, even in college, he was not an accurate quarterback. It was shocking to the masses that this guy was taking over Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. You know, like everyone was like, what the hell is Chicago doing? Like, you really pass up on Deshaun Watson for this kid? There was nothing intriguing enough for me to feel like he was worth of a top 5 pick in that draft class at quarterback. And nothing has changed. Like, people are going to try to put the blame on Matt Nagy, but I mean, I don't think his offense was that bad to where he couldn't have flourished. But if you look at what Trubisky did over there,
we got
no.
look, now we seen
When I say that, he had opportunities to push the ball downfield, and he didn't take those opportunities. I mean, I watch a lot of football, so it's like he had opportunities, he had weapons. You know, maybe he didn't have the greatest offensive line, but it would be kind of like the same thing here. Scott Turner is not the best offensive play caller. He'll have a number 1 wide receiver here in Terry McLaurin like he had in Chicago with Allen Robinson. At least Chicago had some weapons around Allen Robinson, you know, but Trubisky is he's just doing dump offs. Like, it's a lot of screenplays. It's a lot of 5 or 10 yard passes. It's nothing more than that. He might take a shot downfield, but typically those are very inaccurate. I just don't know where it's coming from, but I mean, god damn, if you end up not securing Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and Rodgers, and you have to settle for Mitch Trubisky, you're gonna lose a lot of people in this fan base, including me. Like, I'm out.
So let's go ahead and get our boy. Now that's a conversation within itself, and I see my boy Chuck about to he wants to hop on for a second, and I think that's a good conversation for him too. But I want to get Dre in here so he can get his thoughts before we start getting some callers in here. But Dre, you didn't miss much. The first question that we popped in was more so asking about, you know, where this Trubisky hype came from all of a sudden. Like, it's been, as long as I've been online today, it's been all Mitchell Trubisky. But then secondly, when we're talking about bridge options, we're not entirely too certain that Trubisky is what you consider a true bridge option. He's somebody who, if you look at him in a certain sense, especially with the market and the popularity or the people who are gaining interest in Trubisky, he's going to have some people around him that's going to be like, look, we're going to offer you this. We're going to offer you this. We may offer you 2 years. We may offer you 3 years. Ultimately, he may price himself out of being a true bridge option. So, hand that to you, man. I want to get your thoughts on this before we move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I've been keeping along the last 2 days with the whole Mitch Trubisky saga. And it's not just the Washington Commanders, apparently, that's interested. Apparently, you have multiple teams that think he's a starting quarterback. Now, a lot of us do disagree. Like, I don't really see much in Mitch Trubisky. But I think the thought is, like, with AJ kind of mentioning Tyrod Taylor being a better option. First off, I don't think I would touch Tyrod Taylor just because his ceiling is, you know what his ceiling is at this point. He's 32 years old, and also he's often injured. So you'll probably be starting Taylor Heineke anyway if you go into the season with Tyrod Taylor starting quarterback. But with Mitch Trubisky, I think the intrigue right now across the league is that he still has a ceiling to reach. They don't think they've seen the best of Mitch Trubisky yet. Now, like I said, a lot of us fans will disagree. Like, I personally disagree. Like, I don't think Mitch Trubisky is much. I didn't like him in Chicago. I don't think he sees the field well. I think he only throws the one side of the field well, and he has trouble with blitz pickups as well. But again, I mean, a lot of people are trying to say Matt Nagy had a lot to do with that. And again, so Mitch Trubisky is a guy that I think the league right now, they're just intrigued with the fact that they don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. So that's why you're probably seeing him get talked up, especially with how weak this quarterback class is. I mean, you're talking about Mitch Trubisky at the NFL Draft Combine. Normally, you're talking about the top quarterback prospects at this thing, and this guy, for whatever reason, Mitch Trubisky's still in the show.
Out of all the names. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I think it's more so they're looking at this.
It pays to be white.
I mean, hey, you said it. But I mean, I think the way you look at it is too, like I said, I'm guessing that a lot of NFL execs right now kind of see Mitch Trubisky ceiling higher than most of these guys in the draft right now, which is odd. I mean, but this is how low this class is viewed right now. So I think that's a product of this whole Mitch Trubisky hype right now. And as the team, the Commanders right now, it's a real bad situation to be in. It's a bad time to need a quarterback because as you can see, we've been talking about Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson the last couple of weeks, and now that talk is kind of dying that these guys may kind of stay with their teams. And then there's the whole Deshaun Watson ordeal where you're waiting to April 1st and you don't know what's going to happen with him. But I kind of talked with you guys privately the other day in that you can wait for Deshaun Watson for April 1st. I mean, let's say you do go out and sign a Mitch Trubisky March 16th, March 17th, whenever free agency starts. What's stopping you if Deshaun Watson gets cleared criminally or whatever? He's not going to face criminal charges. He may face a 4 to 6 game suspension. What's stopping you from still trading for Deshaun Watson if you sign Mitch Trubisky? Mitch Trubisky doesn't mean, hey, I'm done upgrading this position, but that's how I would view it. I believe that Deshaun Watson may be the only option left on the table as far as high caliber options out there.
I mean, I think if you're all in for adding Deshaun Watson to your franchise, you have to do that before free agency because that changes the landscape of everything. That changes how you can acquire certain talent to build around him. Let's say, for example, Amari Cooper comes back on the market at wide receiver. You're not going to convince Amari to sign with the Washington Commanders now, and your quarterback on the roster is only Taylor Heineke. If you pull off that trade, it adds new excitement. It adds new opportunities, new guys who want to play with Deshaun Watson because they already know what he has done in the league at an elite level. And if I'm not mistaken, Deshaun is like either 25 or 26 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to pull that off. You can't even wait for the legalities of everything to play out. I mean, I don't think he's going to go to jail. I don't even think that's within the scope of things, just to be honest. Not really like trying to get too deep with that. If anything, he'll get suspended a couple games, but you got to go all in right now before April. Because April time, you still bringing guys to your team to do workouts for the draft. Like, that's a terrible time to trade for a quarterback. And your off-season programming starts at, like, the midpoint of April.
Now, and two, one thing before if you had something to follow up with Dre, if you're listening and you heard AJ mention Amari Cooper, he's not spitballing. There's a legitimate, it's a realm of possibility that something can happen given that there's a huge cap savings that Dallas has if they choose to move on from Amari Cooper. So it's the reason why AJ put that name up. Go ahead, Dre.
But what I was going to say to AJ's point is that if you're signing a Mitch Trubisky, like in my proposal, that if you sign a Mitch Trubisky, at the start of free agency or what have you, and you still may have that possibility of trading for Deshaun, I think the goal anyway will be to, add more pieces or add more. You make a good point in that teams, or players aren't going to be convinced to come play for your team if Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback. But you may have to float out that idea to these players that, hey, we may not be done adding here. Like we're still going for this, and But either way, you still have to upgrade your roster. I mean, you still have to add more pieces, regardless of who the quarterback's going to be, whether it's going to be Deshaun Watson or Mitch Trubisky. You still have to add weapons to this team. But like I said, my whole point is if you're going to sign a guy like Mitch Trubisky, I don't think that stops you from saying I'm going to upgrade if I can upgrade when a Deshaun Watson becomes available. Like ideally, we would love to know that we have a Deshaun Watson in the fold when free agency starts for like a guy like Amari Cooper, but we just don't have that luxury right now. No team has that luxury right now, you know. I mean, because no one wants to trade for him before you know what's going to happen to him, you know, whatever criminally or whatever. So again, like I said, I don't think it stops you from adding or upgrading if you do sign a guy like Mitch Trubisky.
I mean, I think what stops it is if you represent Mitch Trubisky, the last thing you want to do is have your guy sign this free agency deal, and now a couple weeks later, the same team now goes and acquires Deshaun Watson. My guy is not going to play at all, you know, and he wants an opportunity. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but from a standpoint of like a Mitch Trubisky, that's the last situation that you want to be in, and that's what Washington kind of did last year when they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick for $10 million. Like that automatically told me he's going to be the starter. Unfortunately, he got hurt. You know, there was no chance for Taylor Heineke to upset him in training camp and be week 1 starter. They paid the man $10 million. They ain't do that for him to be on the bench. So it's just like in that situation, it's like you have to make these plays before you go and sign a guy like a Mitch Trubisky. If it's a different position, that's a little different. But that quarterback is not going to feel comfortable committing here if he feels like you're going to still go and seek other options as far as like trade market. If it's a draft, maybe they'll understand a little bit more. But trade market, I'm not gonna sign here if I'm Mr. Trubisky and you're still gonna tell me, hey, we're just watching to see what happens with Deshaun Watson's legal situation. If he get cleared, you the fuck out of here. Like we'll pay you.
They don't owe him. They don't owe him that explanation.
That's where I was getting. That's where I was getting at. They don't really owe him that.
They don't owe
like,
him.
look,
like it's not gonna happen.
The intention is to make you our starter for 2022. But by the way, we just found out Deshaun Watson is available. All right, you can go to Houston. Have fun out there.
Do you think Sean McVay would care about Mitch Trubisky's feelings if he had a chance to upgrade him? That's the mentality we need to be on as a franchise right now.
Nah, man, that's dirty because we looking at it. We looking at it like Madden, and it's real life, bro. Like guys gotta move. They gotta move their family. Like you can't just have me come over here to be the quarterback for the 2022 season. If you tell me that you're going to draft the guy possibly depending on who's available first round, okay, I appreciate the transparency. I'm going to get my damn money, but more than likely a rookie not going to be able to come in here and upset me to win this job. But if you're telling me I'm Mr. Trubisky and the nigga that you might be bringing in is who I've been having to hear about ever since I got drafted because he balled the fuck out, and I got picked number 3 when Deshaun went number 10, 11, 12. Or 12. I don't even remember. 12 he went 12 in the draft. Nah, dog. No way. That's nightmares, bro. No matter how much you're gonna pay Mitch.
So let's go ahead. For everybody that's listening, I'm gonna send the links again, like casually or every 10 minutes or so. We do got somebody else waiting as well. We're gonna get them in here, but we got Chuck, my boy Tony of Protect Sports on. Chuck G, OG, big dog, how you feeling, man? It's good to see you.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I can't complain, man.
What's up, Chuck?
Chuck, what's good?
And then we got Tony on, man. So, Tony, how you doing? First and foremost, before I move forward.
I'm good, brother. Everything's solid, man. How are you? What's going on with you?
I'm all right. I cannot complain, big dog. So, like y'all heard, we over here rapping about the quarterback situation. We got something going on over here in Washington, but I guess the main topic right now. Obviously, the floor is yours. You control the conversation if you want to, however you want to steer it. But we were essentially going on bridge options, and that's how we found our way to Mitch Trubisky and the Deshaun Watson situation as well. So I'll hand over the floor to Chuck or Tony, whoever want to take the first stab at this. But the floor is yours, man. Control the conversation. What you want to talk about? What's on your mind as it relates to this quarterback conversation?
I let OGs go first, man. I have respect. I'm saying, do your thing, man.
Nah, man, I ain't gonna be. I'm gonna be quick, man. Look, basically, AJ kind of said it all, and Dre said it all. They go out here and get Mitch Trubisky, man. That's hustling backwards, bro. All right. I mean, what are we doing? You know, look, this is year 3. Okay. You put yourself in a corner, and I talked about this. I think Ron honestly put himself in a corner last year by not addressing this and being a little more aggressive. I mean, he can say, "Oh, we went after Stafford." I mean, did you really go after him? Because you didn't, because the Rams got him. I mean, you didn't move up in the draft. You could have went up, got a Fields, got a Jones, or whatever. But here we are now. You went out and got Fitzpatrick. And we are in a situation where I feel like we're in a do or die situation now. But Mitch Trubisky ain't it, man. That's not. We have that on the roster. He just got a strong arm. That's all. It's the same thing. This season is very important, man. We are hemorrhaging fans. And like AJ said, man, you bring in Mitch Trubisky, he said he might be out. And there's a lot of people who feel that way. They have to understand that this is not just about football. It's about football. That's the most important thing is wins. But they got a brand. They talking greasy with the stadium, talking about putting this shit way down the middle of nowhere. They got to understand, man. This decision is very important. And if Watson's your guy or Russell's your guy, they need to be very aggressive and go get them and not play around with this, man. Because
so here's my thing, fellas. And we could talk about this. The thing that's driving me with this Watson, Wilson, Rodgers, that trio, like if we just take and it's frustrating because obviously we all know like these are the guys that Washington needs to target. But I think there's 2 things that's impeding that from happening. And at least when it comes to Wilson and Rodgers, not Watson. Watson's separate. But Wilson and Rodgers is that, one, what are the odds that Green Bay even wants to deal with any team in the NFC? That's for Rodgers' side. But as it relates to Wilson, if Wilson did want to go to Washington, right, perfectly fine. How are we going to be able to compete with other teams who have more firepower than us? I wrote an article Friday, and in the article on Friday, I outlined there are 2 teams in our division that has more firepower than us. The Giants have 2 picks in the top 10. The Eagles have 3 picks in the top 20 of the first round. And while Washington has, like, we can say all we want, man, these are the guys that we need to get. We're already behind the 8 ball with this situation because we don't even have the draft assets to compete with these guys. So what's the way to balance it out? If you want to trade for these guys, you got to give up some players. You got to give up quite a few players if you want to, just to compete with these guys with draft picks who can also throw a quarterback back to Seattle or Green Bay if they were going to deal with the NFC. But they have Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts to start with at least for one season. So that's kind of the situation that I deal with mentally is like, sure, we want these players, rightfully so, but how the hell are we going to compete with certain teams who have the firepower for 2022 by itself?
Hey, but Ma, I'll challenge you on this. Like, you can have the draft assets, but it depends on who's drafting with those assets. You feel me? Like, Washington had 19th overall pick. They could have got some talent. And what did they end up getting? Jamin Davis. Like, so we really
they could have got some talent, but they got Jamin.
I mean, like, you put it in perspective. Like, Giants had a top 10 pick a couple years ago. They ended up taking Daniel Jones at quarterback. Like, you never really know what these players are going to do, right? And that's why I like the less need approach in some circumstances. If you're somewhere halfway or close there to getting to the chip and competing in the playoffs, fuck them picks. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather trade for something that I know versus what I don't know. Like, it's some talent, don't get me wrong, but there's also talent in later rounds as well. If you really have a good draft department, like scouting team, things of that nature, you can come across some gems in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, even undrafted. Like, look at the top cornerback that's going to be in free agency this year, J.C. Jackson out of University of Maryland. He was undrafted. and now dude is about to be one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah.
You know, so it just really boils down to you have to be aggressive. Like you have to go get
For
that guy.
sure.
If you have to part with talent, that's cool. But if you get a top-notch quarterback, that's how you intrigue players on the open market to come to your team. That's how
What?
you can do what Tampa Bay did and go and get some other pieces, or you can do what the Rams did. They had Matt Stafford. They were able to acquire Von Miller because he kind of like put the word out that he wanted to get away from that situation. The Odell Beckhams, different things of that nature. So that's the only thing I would say rebuttal wise to what you just said, Mo.
Well, Tony, I want you to go and get your take on this. I just so no rebuttal because I actually agree with you. I don't want it to come off as a concern. I am saying for Washington to compete, that's what you have to. These are what you have to consider. So I'm all for giving up the assets. I'm all for competing with other teams to get the player in. That's perfectly fine. So we're on the same page. I ain't got nothing to say about that. But where you at with this one, Tony?
All right, so your point about the whole draft ammo and who got more draft ammo, all this, specifically in Russell Wilson's case, he has a no trade clause. So if he says, "Look, I don't want to be in Seattle anymore. I want to be traded to Washington," the other teams are out. No matter what draft capital they got, they can have 4 first-round picks. It don't matter. He says, "I want to be traded here. I want to play here." He has a no trade clause, so you can't trade for him if he don't want to play for you. So that's number one. First and foremost, that's the reason why I think we're not going to get a quarterback. Not because of lack of draft ammo and lack of assets. It's because these quarterbacks not going to come here. That's my thing. That's why I don't think we're going to get one of these big name dudes. And look at Washington. Like, I'm going to go by quarterback real quick. Let's start with Watson. He got sexual allegations, sexual harassment allegations, whatever it is. Dan Snyder has the same allegations in Washington as the owner. For his PR standpoint in his brand, you think he's going to get traded here? Probably not. So, I don't think he's going to come here. Russell Wilson, that's the only guy I think we can actually even acquire. But first of all, he has the one out of Seattle first. First and foremost, he said to tell the Seahawks, "I went out." He's so diplomatic. He's not going to tell them, "I went out." He's going to kind of just business as usual, whatever. I'm here. Get my money, throw these touchdown passes, chill with my wife. Don't really care. So he's so diplomatic, he's not going to tell Seattle he wants out. If it's Rodgers, you think Rodgers going to get traded here? Bro, Green Bay want to trade him in the conference. That's not happening. They're not trading him in the conference. Unless you got a boatload of assets. A boatload. You got the Eagles, you got 3 1s and 2 2s and Jalen Hurts and other things you could throw in. Like, that's the only way you're going to get Rodgers out of Green Bay and within the conference, number one. Number two, Rodgers already stated he doesn't want to play on the East Coast anymore or in the Eastern Seaboard or Midwest. He wants to go
west. Okay.
He wants to go west. He wants to go in
Denver. That won't even leave him
Vegas
for real if you think about it, because San Fran not taking him.
Yeah.
Or Denver.
Denver. I think Denver's a perfect fit. It's out the conference. They have the assets. They have a quarterback that can toss them back in Drew Lock, whatever that's worth. And they have a ton of weaponry. They have everything. They have receivers, they have tight ends, they have everything. So, yeah, I think Rodgers going to look at that situation and the Washington situation like, okay, yeah, they have Terry McLaurin. Yes, they do have Antonio Gibson. We like Logan Thomas. They don't have a tight end 2 that you can speak of right now. I know people like John Bates. We got to chill out. They don't have a real wide receiver 2. Like, you can say Curtis is a wide receiver 2 by default. Is he really a wide receiver 2?
Hey, let AJ talk about that one.
Yeah, like, he's like a wide receiver 3. To me, he's a wide receiver 3/ gadget guy. I don't think he's a wide receiver. I don't think that. So it's like you look at these situations offensively for both teams. If I'm Rodgers, I'm taking Denver. I'm just like, bro, I got Jerry Jeudy, I got Courtland Sutton, Noah Fant, got Javonte Williams in the backfield. I'm gonna have me a good old time in Denver. I don't care. I got to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year. I'm Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes. Who the hell is Patrick Mahomes? I'm Aaron Rodgers. Damn it! Like, what we talking about here? So it's hard for me to think we're gonna get one of these 3 big guys. It's just hard. Like,
So
have to really sell your franchise to one of these three guys, and you really have to really make them want to come here. And that's the hardest part, I think.
I agree, but my question now, because we all got our opinions, and clearly Mitch wasn't the answer for us. And when you consider the top tier, which is only 3 and technically 2, Wilson and Watson, what would make you turn away from this entire process when it's all said and done? Like, what is that one thing that'll just tell you that you're not necessarily, like, you know, that this is a losing strategy? And the reason why I bring that up is because you have to face the fact that some of our, say we have 5 things, five ways to approach the quarterback position. You may have like 3, who knows? But say if you have 5 ways to approach the quarterback position in the offseason, 3 of those are probably a low chance possibility of happening. You got 2 that's a good possibility, whatever that may be. Sign Jameis Winston, go Marcus Mariota, and hope for the best. Like, those may be your 2 realistic items. But what are the one things, like a couple things that'll turn you away from the entire process? Because Trubisky is a legitimate option for Washington, and not just Washington. There's other teams, but I don't know you can necessarily turn your nose up at the idea. Us, not you, but us as in terms of fans, because if you get a Trubisky, odds are you're going to go in a draft as well for somebody. But I just don't know. I don't know what is going to be the turnoff. I think for me, when I think about it in its entirety, it's if you get a Trubisky and you don't go in the quarterback section or the quarterback pool in the prospects come to draft time. I think that's what will ultimately be a mistake if you think that Trubisky is your answer and you're going to build around Trubisky moving forward in the draft and free agency. Because, and it's the last thing, I heard this today actually, and I forgot where I heard it from, but Ron Rivera was in love with this motherfucker Trubisky in the pre-draft process. He loved him.
Yes,
he loved him when he was in Carolina. So when both of them were in Carolina at the same time, this was a real thing. But he had no reason to draft Trubisky because he had Cam Newton. Now he has an opportunity to sign Trubisky. So this is things we have to consider. Like, how hard is he going to go for Mitch? I don't know. But what's those things that's going to turn you off? Is it going to be Mitch by itself, or is it some other options after the draft too? Like, what are those things?
Well, I guess for me to jump in that with Mitch, I think the answer is going to be for this franchise right now. How do you view the rookie class versus Mitch Trubisky? Personally, if it was up to me, and you talking rookies or Mitch Trubisky, I'm looking I'm Ron Rivera, and I know I kind of need the win now. Kenny Pickett to be my guy. I'll take Kenny Pickett over Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I'll take that right there. Yeah, I'll take Kenny Pickett over Mitch Trubisky
all
right
day.
now today. You know,
all day.
And you know, if you have to trade up a couple of spots to get him, I mean, that's cool. I mean, you were going to trade, you know, the farm for any of these quarterbacks anyway, but you wouldn't have to trade the farm to move up for a Kenny Pickett. But I mean, it really comes down to, we keep talking about the Wilsons and the Rodgers and everything. It's really going to come down to, do those teams want to trade them at this point? I don't even know. I mean, unless these guys want to force their way out, because Russell Wilson doesn't sound like he's forcing his way out of Seattle, but he's also being kind of non-committal, and he's giving gray area answers. Like, I think he was on one of those shows with Sierra today. And they specifically asked him, you know, about Washington, and he gave a real non-committal answer to, you know, the whole situation. He was like, "Yeah, I get friends hitting me up every day about coming to Washington. You know, that's Richmond is my hometown, and I'm close enough." He said, "But Seattle's where I'm at right now, and I love it here." So you want to kind of monitor that situation over the next week or two, but you hope that doesn't linger too long. I mean, if it lingers any longer than a week or so, he's probably not getting traded, because Seattle's going to want some draft capital, or, you know, they're going to want some kind of assurances before, you know, the free agency or whatever, so they can make the possible replacements, you know. But again, so that's something you want to monitor within the next week, because Russell Wilson is still kind of being non-committal about that. But again, if you strike out on all those guys, then it does become a Mitch Trubisky versus the draft prospects. And like I said, Jamal, you brought up a great point about Ron Rivera loving Mitch Trubisky pre-draft. That could play a big factor in it, and he may be their option, like 3 or 4 over any of those drafted quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in real quick as well. With the Russell Wilson thing, he's never gonna publicly come out and say that he wants to trade, right? Like he's way too diplomatic to do that. But if you guys don't remember, during the offseason last year, his agent directly hit up Adam Schefter and provided him with a list of teams
Teams he want to
that
be
he
traded
would
to.
want to go to: Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints, Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys. He wants out of Seattle. He's just not going to be the one that's going to say it. It's going to come from his agent, as it should. So when he gets asked these questions, he's going to always keep it PC. Like
That's
that's
true.
just what he's going to do. And any elite quarterback in this league has a no trade clause in their contract because they don't want teams to just be able to send them wherever. It just really boils down to what you offer a team compensation wise, and if the agent and the team can get on the same page with one another to make it happen. Like I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to happen, not saying Watson is going to happen, or even Russell Wilson, but at the end of the day, you have to be aggressive with your proposals to these teams to acquire an elite quarterback such as Russell Wilson or the Deshaun Watson. As Tony said, Deshaun Watson having these charges and Daniel Snyder, none of that shit matters, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's bad PR no matter where he goes. It's gonna loom no matter what.
That's the thing that people don't talk about. Like,
You
it's,
just
no
gotta
matter
ride it
where he
out.
goes, he can go to the Steelers. It's
Right.
still going to be problems. Like, he can
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
to, he can go to
I
the.
mean, Big Ben Ben
Right.
got accused of rape, and we just
Right.
celebrated him retiring.
Right.
You
yeah,
feel
that's
me?
true. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'll think from Deshaun's standpoint. I'm not thinking from the organization
Yeah,
standpoint.
I
I'm
mean,
thinking
from
from
Deshaun's
Deshaun's standpoint.
standpoint, like I said, that PR is going to follow him until he gets back on the field and gets an opportunity to ball out.
Until everything gets clear and
Yeah.
all that food.
Outside of that, because the last thing you remember of him right now is these allegations. Like, people don't even realize
Remember
this
how
man
good
didn't
he
even
is.
play quarterback last year. Like,
That's a fact.
but
Yeah.
the last season he played, he was a top 5 quarterback in this league. Like,
Yes, sir.
not just from a statistical standpoint, but actually on the field. And he's still only 25, 26 years old. Like, he has so much more to go in his career. So it's just like people only gonna remember you for the last things, and that's the allegations. And no discredit to the woman, but that's it. Like, we don't know how that's gonna play out. It's kind of like he said, she said, in that
For sure.
circumstance. So I mean, it's all intriguing for me though. Like, I guess before we pivot to the next thing, if you have to start talking about Mitch Trubisky, then just go ahead and pack your shit to leave town. Like, I don't care if you got an
Facts.
infatuation with Mitch Trubisky while you was in
Yeah.
Carolina. It just further proves my point that Ron Rivera shouldn't have been the head coach going into this new year, this new rebranding of a team, all of that, because I don't trust the way that he thinks and process stuff. He has too much authority, and the drafting is not his strong suit. I mean, Jamin Davis alone just tells you, like, yo, y'all should be like, if you're a Washington fan and they have to draft the quarterback, you should be scared as hell. Because outside of Cam Newton, what they drafted, didn't they draft Kyle Allen?
He's an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, but
Okay, he was
none of
undrafted,
those
but they
guys
drafted Will
were
Grier.
needs.
They
They
drafted
drafted Will
past
Grier,
season.
though.
Yeah,
But they
Grier-
had
Grier
no
I was
needs
thinking
at
about.
quarterback. They had, I mean, these are guys you're talking about later round picks. These weren't guys that were going into saying, "Oh yeah, Will Greer's the future here." I mean, Cam Newton was the future
Yeah,
for
but
the foreseeable future.
But Dre, if you have a Cam Newton as your starter, how is the next guy that you want to back him up Will Grier? That
I
makes
mean, it's a crapshoot
they
in the
don't
third
correlate.
round.
Like,
In the third round, it's a crapshoot with anybody.
I mean,
at quarterback.
crapshoot, but it's like if this motherfucker go down like he's been going down, you want Will Grier to step in for Cam Newton? They don't even make sense. Like, it makes no sense at all. Even here, like, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, then you bring in, you traded a 5th round pick for Kyle Allen, bro.
Right.
Like, you gave away
And he was
Chet
third
Williams,
string.
the best
And
left
that-
tackle
Who
in the
drafted Will
NFL
Grier? Who
for a
drafted Will
3rd
Grier?
and a 5th. You took that 5th pick, that 5th round pick, and went and
Who
got
drafted
Kyle
him, Dre?
Allen.
And then
let
he
this
didn't
man
even get
play.
on the field. He didn't even
Yeah.
get on the field.
He didn't even let him play. You went and signed Taylor Heineke while he was at the UPS store trying to print a label and shit. when you got them problems, and then like it does not make sense, bro. The same thing, Curtis Samuel. You brought in Curtis Samuel knowing he
Don't
was
get me started
already
with that shit.
injured. Like people knew this.
Say
shit
that's why I said
publicly.
I wanted him to talk about Curtis,
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah, but
So he got it.
people knew that Curtis was injured, bro. You
Yeah.
still brought this man in, signed him, and just gave us the runaround on surgery. Then you came out late in the season, finally admit to the public that he had surgery, and now you're tied in with a guy making what, $14 million a year, and
Yeah,
he's
11
probably
and a half. Yeah,
he
11 and
probably
a half, 12.
okay, yeah. Either way, he's getting paid for not doing shit.
Agreed.
This man probably played. He played as many snaps as us collectively on the Shaq. So it's just like, bro, you gotta be mindful of
My
the
man
moves
caught
that he
4
has
balls off.
made while being here, and you gotta be skeptical and concerned as a fan. Like, what is he about to do at this quarterback position? Because he's talking about it too much publicly, and that is very alarming. Like most teams don't do that.
Hey, AJ, let me chime in real quick. Real quick. I completely agree with you. I don't think Ron Rivera, the head coach, is the problem. I think Dan Snyder gave him too much power. That's my problem. He gave that man too much damn power. You're like, you can control the scouting department.
You know why?
You can buy Cal Smith if you want. No, hell no. This man.
He did it because of fans like you. Right? He did it because of fans like you. But Tony, he did it. He did it because of fans like you. Because when Dan Snyder really wants something, bro, he's gonna go and get it. So if Dan Snyder was really running this team right now, you would already have a new quarterback, and it would be Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Like, but fans is coming down him like, you're too involved in these transactions, and it's like, bro, if you look around sport franchises, the owners are involved in these transactions on a regular basis. It's just that he gets so much damn heat for it, and especially when it don't go right, he like, man, I'm gonna bring in Ron and let him run everything. Like, let me just lay back because when I do
AJ,
have my input, this shit be going so south.
But no, so AJ, he gets heat because of people like you. He is you. Like Dan Snyder would be older, and I mean, and more so, Dan Snyder's track record isn't good.
I wasn't speaking on Dan like Dan having power. What I'm saying was Dan should have hired an actual fucking GM. Don't be out here telling Ron to do what the fuck he wants to do. That's my problem. It's like, bro, do what you want to do. No! No. Cal Smith should have walked out the damn door, number one. Number two, hire an actual GM. Mari Hurney ain't it, bro.
So there's one thing.
The other guy, he cool, but come on, bro. Like,
so there's
that, bro. Come on, bro.
There's one thing. I agree with Tony. I want to get Chuck back in here, right? But I agree with Tony, but I agree him to an extent. He should have hired a GM. But he should have hired a GM well before Hurney and Mayhew even came into place. It should have came well before Ron came into place. The issue with Dan in this specific subject matter is who he's always been. He acts impulsively. He really doesn't take a whole picture into account. He's not that patient of a person. And what did he do after he got rid of Jay Gruden? He said he wanted coach centric. So to hell with a GM, like he'll let the coach deal with it, and he'll let the coach deal with all the other things that comes with being a coach centric environment. So I feel like I completely agree with Tony in that he should have hired a GM, but Dan doesn't operate that way. Dan operates one specific way, and it's however he feels is going to take the heat off of him. And he said, you know what? It appears from the public eye we were too involved. I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna just give Ron the reins and go from there. Chuck, the floor is yours with this.
Yeah, so I want to comment. AJ made a great comment about how can we trust them and they can't even draft a linebacker. You got 3 fucking linebackers on that team. You got Del Rio, Rivera, and Sam Mills, and they went out here and drafted Jamin Davis. So how the hell are they going to evaluate a goddamn quarterback? That is scary. You know what I'm saying? But to agree with you too, Maul, yes, Daniel Snyder, he is impulsive. But on this right here, I wouldn't even be mad honestly, bro, if he gave some input on this situation, like, hey, look, man, we ain't here to sign mid. I'm trying to win. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he need to go in and say, Ron, look, this Trubisky shit, man. No, we not doing that, bro. This is we need to go all in for a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Period, bro. That's it. There's no. This is when people get on Dan Snyder and look. I don't like the guy. Whatever as an owner, he's made a lot of mistakes, but he is the owner of the damn team, right? This right here, as I pointed earlier, this is serious business right here. This quarterback shit, this year, right now, is serious. And it ain't Mitch Trubisky, bro. So if he got to go in the office and be like, look, man, I got to veto this. We need to go hard for these two dudes right here. And whatever it takes, we got to go for it, So that's it, man, period. But I don't trust them to pick a quarterback. I don't. I'm scared to death.
Well, no, I want to follow up on Chuck. While I agree with Trubisky, getting back to Dan Snyder, I don't want him making any more decisions. I mean, everything we're arguing about is a symptom of Dan Snyder. Like literally everything we're sitting here talking about, he's picked everybody. He's picked Ron Rivera. He picked Ron Rivera before picking a GM. He picked Bruce Allen as his GM for 10 years and let him run the franchise culture into the ground. I mean, not that Snyder needed any help doing that because he was doing that on his own. But why are we in this quarterback conundrum right now? Because in 2019, Dan Snyder decided he wanted to be the one that said, I'm picking Dwayne Haskins in the first round, which handicapped or handcuffed the next coach that comes in the next year because he has to make Haskins look good just for the owner. That was probably the contingency on getting the job. Ron Rivera probably tells Dan Snyder, "Hey, I can make Dwayne Haskins look good. I can try to do something with him good because you know why that makes Dan Snyder look good because that was his personal pet pick. Everyone in the organization said he went into that war room and said we're drafting Dwayne Haskins in the first round, and that handicapped and that handcuffed the franchise for the next 2 years for what you can do. So essentially, when we talk about this quarterback situation and we talk about how Ron has botched it, Ron had 1 year to kind of get that quarterback situation right, and that was last year. I mean, and that's kind of hard to put on a franchise that's been looking for a franchise quarterback for 30 years to say, hey, this 1 year, this is the year you have to get it done, and if you don't get it done, fuck you. Now that's pretty much it right now, though, Ron Rivera. Like that's you look at that's what I'm saying. You look at anything Ron Rivera is saying right now, and fans are like, why didn't he say that last year? So it's like, right now Mitch Trubisky and all of that, he can't afford to do that just because of how this quarterback situation has been handled even before he got here. So Mitch Trubisky is not going to appease anybody at this point. So that's why right now, unless you are making some kind of home run splash at the quarterback position, it's not the most enviable position to be in, for Washington. Like, it's really not a good situation to be in.
No, they're in a tough spot. They are in a pickle. And I said this, they backed themselves into a corner, particularly last year by not really being overly aggressive last year and addressing the situation, and now and that seat, regardless of, he said he got 5 years. I don't see that 5 years, player. He go out here next year. He get Mitchell Trubisky or some bullshit, and they go 6-11 or whatever. Whatever you call it, man. Whatever these new records is, they win 6 games or less next year. His ass might be about here, bro. And I mean that. It's gonna be tough.
Man, if he don't get one of these quarterbacks, he's out of here. You might as well go ahead, start planning where he wants to live next year. Hire the movers in advance. All of that shit. Because I mean, like, I know you guys don't come on the show often, right? But like I've been saying since last year, the whole point of drafting these talented guys and making it work, right, is you have to have a quarterback to at least compete for one. And every year that goes by and you keep failing the team at acquiring a quarterback, you're now in a position where you're looking at options that need to be paid for Montez Sweat, Deron Payne. Down the line, Chase Young is going to need a new deal.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin needs a new deal. Antonio Gibson's going to need a new deal.
Holcomb,
It's going to be
Cameron
hard
Curl.
to pay these guys and make it make sense if you're not really competing to even get in the playoffs. Like right now, you're trying to just get into the playoffs, and if you keep playing around with this quarterback position, man, it's impossible to make guys feel confident because they're human too. You don't think
Right.
these guys is in the group chats talking about, man, why all these rumors on Twitter talking about Mitch Trubisky? Like, man, if that happened, we ain't about to be shit. Like they're human. They're just like us. You feel me? They look at the
they're human,
trajectory
bro.
of their team. Like
They're
they,
human, bro.
how much am I gonna bust my ass in the offseason? Mr. Trubisky gonna be my damn
Starting
quarterback. Like if I'm already paid, you ain't really got a reason to go as hard. I mean, of course, if you trying to get your second check, like cool, but Mr. Trubisky, like being quarterback, you gonna be like, what the hell? Like, bro, we have
Mr.
no chance.
Trubisky.
Yeah, we have no chance, and this is the last thing that this team needs going into a rebrand period is bringing in mid-tier quarterbacks to be starters of a new franchise, new name. The name already weak, and now you're gonna get a weak ass quarterback too.
All right,
But-
so you got
my
it. You got
fault.
it, Tony. Go ahead. You got it.
But yeah, I completely agree with AJ, bro. Look, man, if they had the audacity, the kahunas, the balls to tell me that Mitchell Trubisky's our starting quarterback for 2022, I'm gonna fucking throw up. First of all, that's just disgusting. What? No, hell no.
I mean, it's
If you
people
rank out
arguing with me
three
about it,
guys.
though.
Just draft the kid. Just draft the kid and move on with your life. If you're not gonna do that, do not tell me
Right.
you're gonna pick up Mitchell Trubisky of all fucking people and think I'm gonna say this team gonna win 10 games next year because it's not happening. Only
I've
reason
seen
why
that.
they win in Chicago because Chicago had a top 5 damn defense and Allen Robinson was catching every bullshit ball Mitchell Trubisky's fucking throwing his ass. If it wasn't for Allen Robinson that fucking defense, Mitchell Trubisky was like some cold trash. Oh, but Mitchell Trubisky's a former Pro Bowler. Get the fuck out of here. He got a damn Pro Bowl because Allen Robinson saved his ass 100 fucking times. Miss me with the bullshit. Trubisky is trash. He never deserved to be the number 2 pick overall in the damn draft. He should have been the first round pick in the damn first place. He is awful. Do not sign this man. I beg of you. Ron Rivera do some puke, bro. I swear to God.
I mean, prime example, they drafted the dude number 2 overall, and where's the whole regime at right now? All the motherfuckers gone.
Oh my God.
They all got 5, right?
5.
Yeah, so, there you go.
So let's go ahead and close this thing out with percent
Yeah.
chances right quick, right? So I'm gonna shoot down the list of 10. Now I'm gonna include Tyrod for AJ. He had inserted that today, and it made sense in terms of like a bridge option. So I'll put Tyrod in there as well. We're just gonna close out with our percent chance. Go around the table. We don't have to elaborate, but just a percent chance that it'll happen, and go from there. All right. So let's start with Tyrod since it was on the back end. I'll go from Tyrod down to the other list that I had. So Tyrod Taylor, percent chance that you can see him as a Washington Commander.
I would say 30%.
30. Okay.
I think that
Drake.
it really just boils down to the team if they make that call. But I mean, Tyrod would definitely not be opposed to coming here. He actually thought he was going to come here a couple of years ago, honestly. So,
okay. Dre.
I say 10%.
Chuck.
20.
20. Okay. Tony.
40.
I'm at 5. Fuck out of here. 5%. Aaron Rodgers. I'll start this one off. Less than 1%. Tony.
0.
Chuck.
It ain't happening. 0.
Jerry.
-10.
-10. -10. AJ, where you at?
I'm going to go with -12.
-12. Oh, AR12. I like that. Okay. All right. Tua. We did our homework on Tua a couple weeks ago. We kind of know where they are right now with their situation. I'm going to start this one off with you, AJ. Where you at with Tua?
0.
0. Dre.
2%.
Chuck.
0.
0. Tony.
10.
10. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave a little percent chance for these guys. I'm gonna say 3. Say 3. Russell Wilson. Here we go. Russie. I'm gonna start this one off with Tony. Where you at?
Let's say 15.
15. Chuck.
I think a 50% chance, man.
50.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Adam. I forgot his last name, but Adam is in the same boat as you. 50%.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
going to. I'm going 25%.
25%. AJ.
Yeah, I'm at 50.
Oh, 3 people we know that got the 50%. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go 30%. I'm gonna go 30. That may be the highest one. No, I take that back. I see my list. It's gonna be a little bit higher. All right, James Winston. My bad. Tony.
5. He gonna make
Dre.
the walls.
I say about 8%.
AJ.
Dre said 80?
8.
Oh, okay.
8.
Yeah.
I say 0%.
I'm gonna go. I say, James. I'm going 15. I mainly see him going back to New Orleans, but yeah, 15 for me. Chuck.
I say about 15. Yeah, I think they're gonna re-sign him.
Carson motherfucking Wentz. Carson motherfucking Wentz. Chuck, I'm gonna start with you. Where you at?
It's Chuck Boy.
Look, hey man, yeah. Look, I ain't my boy, but I just see it's a realistic chance. Between him and Trubisky, I said I'd take him. But look,
Hold on, Chuck, you like I don't know your take, right? You like Carson Wentz?
I like Wentz better than Trubisky.
God damn.
Yeah, I know.
Lord.
I know. I like Wentz better. If I had to, I'd take Wentz over Trubisky, but that's just me. I say about 35% chance.
35%. Okay, and by the way, if y'all doing the math out there, don't do that to us. Just let us keep our percentage up there, okay? Just leave it alone.
Okay, I say all right, 40. We keep it even, man.
Okay. There you go. All right, fold it. Dre, I'm gonna start with you. I always go follow up with you. There you go. What you got?
0%.
0. Tony, where you at?
50%. It's a coin
50.
flip.
50. Okay. All right. AJ, where you at?
Man, for my own sanity, 0%.
All right, I'm gonna leave a little room for Carson. I'm gonna go 10% with Carson. Next up, we got 5 more. Teddy Bridgewater. I'm gonna start this one off. For Teddy B, I did the math. Like when I did this quarterback, I think he stays out west. I'm gonna stay with 10%. I'm gonna stay with 10%. All right, AJ, where you at?
That's where I'm at. Not 0.
That's where I'm at.
I respect that. Okay, here we go. Tony, where you at?
1%.
1%. Chuck, where you at?
5.
5. Dre, where you at?
5%.
Okay. 5%. Jimmy G. Jimmy motherfucking Garoppolo. Number 4 on the list. We got 3 more after this. Jimmy G. I'm gonna start this one off with Dre. Where you at?
45%.
Oh, 45. All right. Did the surgery impact your percentage? Because he had shoulder surgery, I think.
No,
recently.
it didn't.
Today.
It didn't. Look, I don't like Jimmy G, but it's just the smoke around him, and I keep hearing his name linked with ours, and this is the name that it wouldn't shock me if that's the guy they got.
Okay. All right. Chuck, Jimmy G, where you at?
I think it's a 50-50 shot. He might be here too.
50-50. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tony, where you at?
0. He's getting traded to Pittsburgh. That's my prediction.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna go and save AJ for last on this one. Jimmy G, I think if I said 30 for Russ, then I'm gonna say 25 for Jimmy G. I'm gonna say 25% Jimmy G. AJ, where you at?
Once again, I'm going with my sanity on this, and I'm gonna say 0.
Now you know it's a higher percent chance for this.
I gotta protect my mental health.
I respect that. All right, 3 more, fellas. 3 more. Deshaun Watson, the big dog. The big dog. Who I'm gonna start with? I'm gonna start with my boy Chuck, man. I'm gonna start with Chuck again. Chuck, you up next. We at?
I got him at 60. It's a lot of smoke. I think they're gonna make a run for him for real, serious run. Yeah, he can end up here, 60%.
60%.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, where
Yes,
you
sir.
at?
All right. Well, I said earlier, don't need to be said, but I'm gonna be a little nice today. I'm gonna say 5.
Oh, 5%. All right, AJ, you got it, big dog. Where you at?
I'm gonna go with 50%.
50%. Okay. I'm gonna say Dre for last. I'm gonna go right quick. Deshaun Watson. Give me like 65%, man. That's influenced by the betting, the bookies, man. I don't take much stock in what is it, DraftKings, but at the end of the day, I don't think they made that out of nowhere. So I'm gonna say 65% with Deshaun Watson.
My man Maul got a gambling problem. We need
Yeah.
we need a little
Well,
gambling problem number ticker at the bottom.
well,
Yeah, you
fortunately
need
for
to add
me,
that, Jamal.
1-800 gambling.
look, they cleaned me out a couple months ago, so thankfully I left it alone. Dre, where you at?
I say 35% for Watson.
35%. Okay. All right, last two. Marcus Mariota. Percent chance. I'm gonna start with Tony on this one. Where you at?
0. Hell no for my sanity.
0.
My AJ
Okay.
should be. 0 for my sanity. No.
All right, I'm gonna go next. Because Mariota was a conversation not too long ago with Washington. Like there was legs to it. So I'm gonna just say 40. Like there's a 40% chance with Mariota. It's unfortunate, but we are where we are. And he's a free agent, so I'll take a free agent where it don't cost much and go from there. So 40% chance with him. All right, AJ, you up? Where you at?
I'm gonna go Bruno Mars.
I don't even know what that means, bro.
What does that mean?
0 chance. Bruno Mars ain't got a chance to play in the
NFL. That was a good one. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? All right. I'm going to get Chuck last. Dre, Marcus Mariota, where you at?
20%.
20%? Okay. Chuck.
I'm going 25%. Yeah, 25%. I heard there's some smoke around him too. Yeah,
okay, 25%. The last one. Mitch Trubisky. Where is you at? Where is you at? Dre, I'm going to go with you first, man. Where you at on Mitchell?
60%.
Oh, 60. Okay. That's your highest one too, ain't it? 60%.
That's the highest one. I think he's the most likely.
Okay. All right. Chuck, I'm gonna go with you next, man. Where you at on Mitch?
40%.
40. All right. We're gonna save Tony for last. AJ, where you at?
Once again, with the disclaimer for my sanity. Negative 50%.
AJ is voting with emotion and not reality.
Hey man, if this the reality I gotta live in, take me out.
No, reality.
As a fan, I will go be a Baltimore Ravens fan, bro. Like,
we're gonna see AJ in the booth at all M&T Bank.
Because I refuse to do this show with Maul and Dre with Mitch Trubisky at fucking starting quarterback, bro.
You see what we went through with Heineke.
I will retire from this show altogether, bro. Sunday's already hard enough. Can you imagine having to watch Mitchell Trubisky for fucking 17 weeks? Hell nah. I'd rather go do something way better with my time than do that. I would look at paint.
I respect that, man. For me, I got this thing at probably like 45. I ain't gonna get that man 50. I think it's some other teams that want him just as bad as we do. So I'm gonna say 45% with Mitch. And Tony, you got the last word on this one. Where you at?
I'm at a 1,000%. I'm kidding. I'm gonna say it's a 33.3% chance to third.
333. All right, that's very.
This man said
can't
a
say the word.
1/3%.
1/3 cup full.
1/3 chance,
Not half cup full, not half cup empty.
Said, let me get a third of Gatorade.
Yeah, you might as well set a tablespoon. Give him a fucking
1/3
tablespoon.
tablespoon.
How much does it cost for one rib?
Dang,
That's
get
all
a
I
couple
need.
teaspoons.
I want no Mr. Trubisky. I want that bum ass nigga. Oh my God,
I respect that. Hey, but man, look, this ended up being an impromptu feature, man. I appreciate Chuck and Tony staying on with us, man. There was some callers who happened to drop off, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Chuck and Tony held it down for the guests today. Talk all things quarterback, man. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Tony, I know you got some things going on YouTube, so go ahead and plug it, man. You've been good to us with your time today. Let the people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all can find me at the Protest Sports Network on YouTube. Just look at Protest Sports Network. Also, Instagram is Protest Sports Network _ My Twitter handle is PSN042893. So it's Protest Sports Network and my birthday. And that's pretty much about it, man. Go hit the subscribe button. Just hit 2K. Roll the 3K on the way. And I got a show in about 30 minutes. So come pull up if y'all want to come pull up.
Hey, you a professional with that, man. I need to learn how to streamline my plugs when they tell me it's my time. I'm struggling with that. I'm just telling people
that boy sounded like Big Chicken.
Yeah, bro, that shit is crazy. Hey, Chuck, man, I know you got the Twitter going on. Let the people know where they can find you on Twitter, man. Your videos are classics. Your classic rants, man. I love them. Let the people know where they can find you.
At Chuck G716. At Chuck G716.
I'll follow you
Absolutely.
right now, bro. I'm gonna do that right now.
Absolutely. So there we go with this episode of the Travel Die Podcast. For me,
Chuck,
I will be back.
Hey, but y'all ain't see Chuck's son taking out Mitch Trubisky and Carson Wentz just now?
Yeah, he taking the trash off.
Hey, that's funny as hell,
Hey,
bro.
now hold on before we go, man. Hey, Chuck, what you got going on over there, man? You at an abandoned building, man?
No,
in this garage. Yeah.
Top of that podcast in the trap. What you
He had Carson Wentz and Mitch Trubisky workout.
Yeah, them here the whole time. They ain't say the word. They ain't say a damn word.
Had the background dances and everything in that motherfucker.
Hey, Mo, chill, dog. Hey, yo,
this is
chill.
where we chop it up at.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So listen, I'll be back on tomorrow with the all 32 side of Trapper Dive. The fellas will be back next week. We do got a guest schedule. We'll see how that thing work out. But it's more draft talk, more information coming with us and for the foreseeable future. Well, free agency is actually a couple weeks away, so we got draft and free agency coming up. We'll have plenty of things to talk about. So
NFL Combine this week.
Yep, that's this. I think the workouts start Thursday, so I can't wait for that one. Yeah, so I can't wait for that. So we'll have plenty of things to talk about. With that being said, man, y'all enjoy your evening, enjoy your night, all that good stuff. We will catch you next time. Peace.
Peace, cuz.
Hey, man, y'all been great, bro.